Good morning or good afternoon. It is Monday. Sacred Business Builders, we are here. Bear with us. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty while we're navigating all of this stuff. So I am here today. I'm super excited because I want to bring on a very special guest for you guys today, and we're going to talk about how to live your purpose and make money doing it. So let me just make sure, bear with me here while we wait for our guest to get on board, and let's see. Okay, so Angela is waiting in the wings. So Angela, go ahead and like this. Go ahead and give me a like. There we go. And let's bring her on camera. Let's see if it... For those of you watching, this is tricky with streaming these Facebook Lives because you have to have your phone in horizontal, and then if you don't get it just right, it doesn't work, and it's fun stuff. Okay, it says we're adding Angela, so let's hope this is it.
Did we finally get it to work?
We got it to work. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I know, behind the scenes, you guys were all like, ah.
But you know what, this is really, I just want to invite you all to, wait, I got to fix my hair. Okay.
I know.
So Angela and I are taking imperfect action here. Look at, we're side by side. We got it. Okay. So this is the thing about being an entrepreneur is that, you make mistakes all the time. You fail. You look dumb. And, you got to keep trying. Hey, Kim. Good to see you, hon. So anyway, we are here, and I'm super excited that we figured out how to do the technology. So I want to just reintroduce my dear friend, Angela Anderson. We are in a business mastermind together, and she is an amazing success coach for women. And we are going to talk about making money in your business, really living your purpose, and really owning your worth and your value, because so many of us, we want to do good things in the world, but there's all these inner blocks and obstacles that get in the way. So without further ado, Angela, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. And especially to talk about this because it's something that's super near and dear to my heart. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. JC, what's up? All right. So tell us a little bit, before we kind of jump in, Angela, I'd love to just hear a little bit about your background and, how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's something that I avoided for a really long time, I'll just say. So for those of you who are out there who are feeling called to do something and in your heart you're supposed to do it and you're resisting it, resistance is futile. Just just go for it. So the thing that I resisted for a really long time was helping women with money, because I honestly didn't feel qualified to do it. And so my background is that I grew up in pretty extreme poverty and a lot of homelessness. And I watched my mom just live this life where she couldn't live up to her potential. She didn't finish the 8th grade. We lived in really extreme negative situations. And first of all, it had a horrible impact on me. Not a horrible impact because I love where I am right now, but it had a big impact on me and it had a big impact on her. And so one of the things that I promised myself when I was young was that, 1, I wouldn't go through that. And 2, I didn't ever want to see anyone else go through that either. So now that's what I do in my business. And again, it was one of those things I resisted until I started paying attention to the patterns, which were that all of the women who were working with me were not only increasing their income, but the private clients, almost all of them were doubling or tripling their incomes. So now, I know, it's so exciting. I'm super excited for them and proud of them. So now I have the lovely, lovely opportunity to share that with other people too.
Yeah, and what an amazing turnaround to come from such a background, and now you're a success coach. And this is why I always tell my clients we have to look at our personal hero or heroine's journey and our personal, I call it our soul story, and that really helps us to form our why and to really not only heal ourselves but then be able to actually help our clients. So I love that. So you and I both know that, all of us, whether we're new entrepreneurs or even further along, we all experience these blocks and these fears that get in the way of us being successful in our businesses. Mm-hmm. So can you talk to us about what are the major blocks that are getting in our way, and what can we do about them?
Sure. I think that one of the biggest blocks I see for women specifically, especially because you and I are entrepreneurs and we work with women who are entrepreneurs, it's hard, especially in the online space, right? It's very hard to have, you can have a brick and mortar business if you're not super visible, but if you want to develop an online business, a successful business, you have to be visible. And women have a lot of fear around being visible. And I was guilty of that too. So
me too.
yeah,
Totally terrified.
yeah.
I'm still kind of working on it, to be honest.
Always. It's always a work in progress, right? So I think being visible is really, really one of the keys to being successful in business online. So may I share a story with you?
Yes, please do. And then, well, just let me, I love that you're bringing this up because, you know, someone in this group just asked the other day, like, how do I make authentic posts, but not make it seem like I'm pushing my business? And it's like, well, you know, I did give her some tips for how to do that, but then it's also about like, okay, but why are we not allowed to be like, why do we have to be small? Like, what is it that makes us, you know, stuck in that place? So tell us your story, and
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll illuminate the answer.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story from a client of mine and then a little bit of story from mine. Hers is the one that I really want to share. But what I'll say, coming back to what you just mentioned, in not wanting to take up too much space or feeling, you know, like we need to keep ourselves small. In my case, it was, I had a lot of shame and embarrassment around how I grew up. And I just felt like I had to hide that from everyone. And it was actually this really big business coach I was working with who called me out on a call one day and said, basically, get over it, get over your stuff, and be visible and be vulnerable with who you really are, because that's where your gift is. And that's, you've been through that, so you can help other people. They don't have to have gone through exactly what you've gone through, but if you're not visible, they're not seeing the you, and you're not being authentic, you're never going to have clients. They're just not going to come to you because they don't understand who you really are and they can't see themselves in you. So if you're in that place of feeling like you can't share who you really are, that's the moment to really pay attention to what you're here to do. Because again, I was talking about resistance earlier, and if you don't show up for yourself, your business is never you're just not gonna be successful in your business. And you're gonna spend a lot of time and a lot of years spinning your wheels.
Yes, yeah. and that's a whole different set of pain. That's more painful than being vulnerable enough to be seen, right?
Absolutely.
Because I've done both, actually. I've done both. And, you know, I think that, you know, being vulnerable enough to be seen is it's like scary, but it's that type of scary where, you know, you're expanding as well. And then once you keep doing it, it gets a little easier.
Well, the client story that I was going to share with you is one about visibility. And it is a little bit more of an extreme situation. So I have a client, she's been working with me for a while now. I love, love, love her. She's phenomenal. But when she first started working with me, she had a really scary situation. She had gotten divorced. And honestly, her ex-husband was stalking her. Her whole business was online. She was a very successful online coach and had real reasons, real fears about being online, and was coming to me because she was considering closing down her business, but didn't have another source of income. And so through the work that we did together, she was able to not only continue her business, but to show up and go through the entire process that she had to go through with the divorce settlement, and had to pay him a lot of money, but she paid him off in less than a year, and now is making more in a month than she used to make in an entire year. And she's pushing multiple six figures. Yeah. And it's all because she was able to be visible, right? To get through the fear, which was a real fear. It wasn't like my fear of being like, oh, I don't want people to see me. Oh. You know, hers was a real fear.
Right, but what I love about this story is that, like, okay, genuinely she had this situation that was concerning maybe like her safety, but yet she overcame it, and now she's completely rocking her business. And so the rest of us can do that too, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and you know, I just want to say for you guys watching, if you are a coach or healer or any kind of service-based entrepreneur in this day and age, like even if you have a brick and mortar office, your business is online. You know, the way that you're going to get clients is either with in-person interaction or oftentimes, you know, online, by building that trust and building that know, like, and trust online with your video and posts and whatever. So if you're thinking like, ooh, I got a brick and mortar, I don't have to be visible, I beg to differ. So, Angela, let's talk about money. You know, like money is such a charged issue for everyone. And, you know, so many people are like, oh, like, let me charge $65 an hour. And I'm like, it's hard to make a living. You know, if you're a massage therapist or a coach or a nutrition consultant, I mean, it's just, you got to charge more money. Mm-hmm. So tell us about how you help your clients break through those money mindset blocks.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a process, of course, you know, and I think we're going to talk in a little bit about a challenge that I'm getting ready to offer, but there are so many tools that you can use, but in the end, all of the tools come back to rewiring your brain and rewiring what you tell yourself about what you think is your story, right?
100%.
What you think is your story that we're all attached to. Like I had this, for me growing up, I had this poverty story, right? Oh, how could I? So just a brief component of that. Like we all have, for instance, as an example, we all have unspoken or silent agreements with our primary caregivers around money, right? We all do. Absolutely. And so that's one of the things that I work with clients on. So I won't share their stories, their personal stories, but I'll just say in my situation, my dad was homeless for a long time, and I had just felt like in my mind, my silent agreement with him was that I couldn't do more than he had done because I would be ostracized or I would not be loved or whatever these things were. So one of the big things that we do in the work is we're always coming back to the story. And sometimes it can take more than one time, right? It's not always a one-shot deal, yeah. Right? It's not like you have this epiphany. Even sometimes, like I have another client, I love, phenomenal. And it took us a while to get to there. And she finally had this epiphany around she had capped herself at the amount of money that her father had made in his lifetime. I mean, annually. And again, multiple six figures. She was doing really well, but it wasn't until she was able to rewrite that story and rewrite that silent agreement that she was able to go from capping herself at that, and she'd never made more than that. And then very recently, at the end of June, you know, she shared with me, not only have I made more money this year than I've made in the past, I've doubled what I normally make in a year, and I did it in the first 6 months of this year. Amazing. Yeah.
So, yeah, I love what you said about this sort of this ancestral, for me, in my entrepreneur journey, the very first time I raised my prices, I mean, I was terrified that people would think like I'm a bad person. I mean, I had to have a theta healing session on it. I mean, I was like crying. It was like a big thing. And I was like, where is this coming from? And I really had to work and I really uncovered that there's ancestral scarcity lineage in my own family. And I won't, you know, but there are things even now, things that my mom says and my dad says, and I adore them. And I'm like, now I can see like, they're both coming from such scarcity. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And, you know, you're right. It takes repetition to do that rewiring and rewiring. So I'm wondering, I know you have such a vast toolbox because these are real things. They're deep. They come from our childhood. You know, they take some work, but I'm wondering if you have like a little process to share with us or something that will help us, just like a little takeaway to help us with these sort of blocks and fears.
You know what? I was going to share one that I use all the time, and I think it's really powerful. But right now, in this moment, I'm being called to share a different one. So I'm going to share this with you.
I love it.
So it's an easy question to ask yourself, and any moment of the day, whenever this is coming up for you, and it's just to ask yourself. For me, the word is poor. For you, it might be something else. So where am I feeling poor? And just to pay attention to, like, where is your attention? What is your attention on? What is it that you're telling yourself around that particular experience or event, you know? And then to take that information and not just cognitively, you know, notice it, but then to do something about it and make a decision around shifting it in a very slight way so that you're not feeling poor, so that you are incrementally increasing the value, how you value yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. And it makes me think of like, that could be part of our morning practice, right? Because for my morning practice, I do a few things, one of which is a small amount of journaling usually. So that could be a really good practice. And I love that too, because, you know, being rich isn't just about greenbacks, right? Being rich in our lives is valuing ourselves and valuing the gifts that we have. So, you know, I love that sort of introspective tool you just gave us. And yeah, really powerful. I'm going to try that actually. I'm going to make myself a note and do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and you can do it
Awesome.
anytime, and you can do it in small, you know, the thing that I love is that you can do it in small increments. Let's say, I'm just going to make up an example, probably an example from my past. So what if you drink coffee and you buy really cheap coffee because you're trying to save money, but then you don't enjoy it, right? But you spend a couple bucks more on coffee, and then all of a sudden you feel like $1,000,000. You know?
Oh my God, yes.
It totally shifts you. Or for instance, like I wouldn't pay to get my, you know, back in the day, right? I wouldn't pay to get my hair done in some capacity. And then I went around looking horrible all the time, feeling bad about myself. And you don't make money if you're feeling bad about yourself and you're not looking good. You know?
Absolutely.
So it's about
100%.
making small incremental changes, and those are things that you can do every day.
I love it. So Angela, tell us about, so you are going to be running a free challenge coming up. And I'm really excited about it. It's all about really kind of owning your value and making money. And you're going to share more of these sort of tangible tools to help us rewire. So tell us a little bit about this challenge.
Yeah, I'm super excited. It's called the Increase Your Income Challenge. It's a 5-day Facebook
Woo-hoo!
challenge. I know. Let's
increase our income.
It's a 5-day Facebook challenge for women only. So it's a super safe place. All of the women are very like-minded. Most of them are entrepreneurs or they're working for someone else. They all know that they're here for a purpose. They're all here to make a difference in the world. And sometimes, you know, sometimes a lot of the women who come into this to work with us are women who they know they have a purpose, but they might not know either what it is or how to get there. So these are kind of small steps that we choose to do along the way, right? And one of the things that we're doing in this particular challenge is increasing our income. So every day for 5 days, there'll be a little video, 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something like that, where you get a tool that you get to listen to. Sometimes it's an exercise, sometimes it's a meditation, sometimes it's just a choice that you make, like for instance, the one that we were just talking about. And then you come into the Facebook group and then you share what you've done. It's really easy. I'll back up and say, there's a little work, right? There's some introspection going on. There's some journaling going on. It is some work, but it's 5 days. It's like a boot camp to rewrite your mindset and make more money. And I've run multiple challenges in the past. This particular version of this one is new because I'm focusing just on the money, because in the past, so many people have had questions about the money. When I've interspersed the money part of it, I've just decided to do it all at once. But for instance, I had somebody come into a challenge and came in on, I think, day 8 of 12 or something like that. And as soon as they got in the group, they were like, oh yeah, I just made all this extra money. I got this unexpected speaking engagement, right? Sometimes just being in the energy of that experience and making a commitment to yourself. And the other thing is I'm big on structure and I'm big on accountability. And, you know, that's a huge, huge, huge component of getting something done. And now I'll say also, like Kristyn, like you, I'm an intuitive. So that means you get the best of all of those things, right? You get the guidance and, you know, you get that aspect of it with lots and lots of love, but then you also get the practical, tactical things that you can do to make more money.
Yay, and make money in a soulful, aligned way that feels right to you. And of course, you know, what's great about this is that we know that it's so powerful to do something in community, in a group, and it sounds like you made it super doable, like not overwhelming, and really integrated. So what we're going to do is we are going to pop the link for that in the chat. Hey, Amanda and Joe as well. Thanks for joining us. So Angela's challenge is starting
Wednesday, the 8th, August 8th.
Woo. So when we're done with this, we're going to pop the link into the chat. If you want to join Angela to raise your money vibration and make more money in your business in a soulful way, you can feel free to click that link. And again, it's free. And for any of you, you know, does anybody have any questions? Let me just look real quick and see. If anybody has any questions, you can pop them in the chat right now. Any questions for Angela? Otherwise, if you're watching the replay, still put your questions or comments in the comment thread, and I'll be sure to come back and answer your questions later. Hey, Amanda. Awesome to have you here. All right. So we'll just stay on another couple seconds here. Everyone's just giving us some love. We got Amanda. We got JC. All right. Okay, you guys. So we're going to jump off now. But again, you know, look out for that link. We're going to pop it in right now. And Angela, thank you so much for joining me. This is super fun. And I'm really excited to jump in on this 5-day money challenge with you.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yay. All right. Have an awesome day, everyone. Bye for now.